the Cardiff second semi-final at the Cazzo Premier League. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to welcome back the players. Firstly, would you please welcome home the winner of 3 Grand Slam titles, a World Grand Prix champion, 2 World Series Finals titles. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the winner of the World Cup and the former champion of the world, the Iceman, Gerwen.
Semi-final, this for a spot in tonight's final here in Cardiff to face Nathan Aspinall. It is Price versus Van Gerwen. Well, Gerwyn Price here in the semi-final after a 6-5 win over Chris Dobie in the quarter-finals earlier. Started that match really well and finished it really well as well by winning that last leg decider, 93.5 average, and got his first point on the board. He was certainly boosted by this Cardiff crowd. Up against Michael Van Gerwen here, who was pretty solid really, a 6-4 quarter-final victory over Dimitri van den Berg, a 95.5 average and 60% on his doubles. Looking forward to this. They've had some super meetings in the past. One of their big meetings last year, away from sort of the Premier League, away from the World Series, was of course the World Match Play Final, which Michael Van Gerwen came back to win 18-14. It was an absolute belter. So hopefully that is what is in store here in this second semi-final. To guide you through it, I'll hand you over to Wayne Mardle and to Rod Studd.
Thank you, Emma. Well, we've just witnessed a rock star reception for Gerwyn Price in his native South Wales. He's changed his playing shirt tonight to play in the familiar Welsh red. Well, just round the corner at the Millennium Stadium at the weekend, Wales were demolished by a team clad in green in Ireland in the Six Nations, and Price tonight goes up against the green machine in Michael Van Gerwen. MVG, the defending champion in the Premier League, goes off a strong favourite here. Good evening, Hawaii. Would you agree with those sentiments from the odds makers that Van Gerwen is the favourite?
Yes. Yeah, on current form, MVG is probably more likely, but they met last year in the same format. It hasn't changed 4 times, and it was 3-1 to Price.
Yes, Price's last win over Van Gerwen was in the Premier League last May. And since then, Van Gerwen has won 3 times, including that World Match Play final in Blackpool last July, when Price went off the favourite, didn't he, by the way?
He did, yeah.
He was playing outstanding arrows in Blackpool, but Van Gerwen, despite going behind early, found a way to battle his way back into the match and lift the big prize at the Winter Gardens.
Whilst it wasn't peak Price in his opening win against Chris Dobie, there was a lot for him to be pleased about. The crowd wanting something good to happen for him. so they can cheer him on. Will this be the perfect start? The answer is no.
Well, that was a big chance for a big break in the opening leg. Double 12 MVG selects here. He almost hits double 9, by the way, and now he's hit single 12. Well, it was an interesting pick-off 31, I thought, but anyway, Price wants double 10.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought he would have left double 8. Can Gezzy leave nothing? And that's exactly what he's done. You mentioned, Rod, Dan and I, in the opening game where Gezzy played Christobi, and we were talking about that you need that little bit of luck during that game. Your opponent needs to miss. It's such a short format that sometimes you don't have time to pull anything back. So if you can be a little fortunate at times, you need to take it, and he did there after Van Gerwen fluffed his lines on that 31.
Yeah, he picked double 12, but as we've said before, it's not about making the right decision, it's about making your decision right. Van Gerwen is capable of hitting any double on the outer ring. He just didn't hit that one, but he's hit those 3 trebles. Now the seesaw, the pendulum, if you will, has gone in Price's favour here, because at the start of the match he needed a break, he's got it. Now Van Gerwen needs the break, Wayne, doesn't he?
Yep. This is what I do like about the format. I like how cutthroat it is. If you break, then hold. As the person throwing, obviously second in the match, you are in control. You're then being chased. You are then the front runner. And Price, so far, is doing okay after 12 darts, but he may not get a shot.
To paraphrase you, Wayne, Michael may miss and Gerwyn may hit.
Yes.
He wants tops here, and this is to double his money and double his lead. Double 10. Yes. And Gerwyn Price delights the home faithful with the first 2 legs in the match to lead 2-zip against the favourite.
He took out 281 combination finishes in his win over Christobi, and that was a real important 46, that.
Gerwyn has had chances in the opening 2 legs at double 12 and at Bull, but Price in the end has won both of them. And the winner of this match will play Nathan Aspinall in the final after he defeated the world champ Michael Smith in the first semi.
Nathan Aspinall, for mine, is playing some of the best starts I've seen him play in a matter of years. It's beautiful. The timing of everything he's doing. He has been magnificent this evening, averaging 105 in his 2 matches against Peter Wright and against Michael Smith. Been untouchable.
He's defeated the last 2 world champions in consecutive matches.
Yes.
That's a nice thing to have on your CV.
And if Price wins this, he could beat the top last 3.
Double 16.
Look what he wants here.
And Van Gerwen finds the big combo finish. A 3-figure out shot to get back on track in the match.
I felt that he felt his hands were cold in his opening game. Michael Van Gerwen kept blowing them, putting them in his pocket, which he doesn't normally do. He's rubbing them, but he seems okay here, averaging 102 to Gerwyn Price's ton.
95.5 against Vandenberg in the first match, Van Gerwen.
Yeah.
Which will disappoint him in terms of the average. But you've made the point, Wayne, in recent weeks and months that Van Gerwen, who used to be obsessed with averages, it was the first thing he'd ask you, wouldn't it?
Yes.
What was the average? He'd look at the screen, what's the average? Now he just wants to win darts matches. His mentality's changed, hasn't it?
It really has. We saw one last week with Christobi. We're not going to see one from Gerwyn Price here, but what a setup. 2 legs to 1 up and in control of this. He won't want any darting drama here, Price.
3 maxes for Van Gerwen, but 3 darts here for Price at double 18. 1 dart here at double 18 remaining. In it goes. It's a big one. And he milks it to some tune.
So he should. He's 3-1 up against the favourite for the Premier League. And there's Michael with a little, what would you call that? A smirk, a grin?
A wry smile.
A wry smile, yes. Wish I'd have said it like that. We've said it before and we shall say it again. Averages are a guide. They're only a guide. Michael Van Gerwen averaging 107. Gerwyn Price 97. Price leads 3-1.
It's loud here, and Gerwyn Price is loving it, loving it, loving it. Here in South Wales, in the Welsh capital.
424.
He'd like to play here every week, wouldn't he? Gerwyn Price.
Yes, geographically as well, yeah.
92. 142.
Oh, yeah. No mistaking there. It was a leg in which he dominated, but it's always nice to clean up a leg with a 3-figure out. So on top of his 108, there's a 142.
Now we saw this earlier on in the evening when Wright played Aspinall. Wright's only 2 legs he'd won at this similar stage of the match were 3-figure out shots.
Yeah.
Van Gerwen now has had 4 maximums and 2 3-figure out shots. He's losing.
This is what we want to see these two do. Go toe-to-toe, do battle.
93.
But Price needs to act like this. He needs that adrenaline rush. Needs that buzz.
57.
I've
got to say, I prefer him in red. I like the shirt.
Oh, you would hear all sorts of psychological stuff about how teams playing in red have an advantage. I've read some of that kind of mumbo jumbo before, but
you can call it nonsense.
He just looked better in red, doesn't he? You're right. I mean, and the bullseye. This will be good. Oh, he couldn't find it. But he threatens it most matches, to be fair.
Big moments. Huge. Massive. Tops for 4-2. That is magnificent from Gerwyn Price. He didn't have anything to shout about last week, but this week is a different story. I'm not going to say he's back, but this is better from Price.
Are you not entertained? 5 maximums, 4 for Van Gerwen, 3 figure out shots, 2 for Van Gerwen. This is epic arrows from 2 of the best players in the world. Really going at it here on the big stage in Cardiff in the Premier League.
Michael Van Gerwen trails 4-2, averaging 112.43.
What does he expect with that kind of average?
Pathetic.
Now, the record losing average 115, Taylor against Barnavon, wasn't it, in the Premier League?
That was ridiculous.
Well, that was ridiculous, yeah. But Van Gerwen will feel this is equally so if he gets beat from here, averaging, well, now a mere 111.5.
Price has got to keep up to his work here, because in a couple of legs, I know he's leading 4-2, but Michael looks an absolute certainty to win this, and then he's only a hold of throw up.
Van Gerwen in 13 darts wins his 3rd leg of the match, to trail now by just 1 leg at 4-3. And Price has no breathing space, does he? Because if he does lose his throw, Van Gerwen will have the initiative and the advantage.
Yes.
So as you rightly pointed out, Wayne, Gerwyn Price has got to keep going at the pace he's going at here to hold on to his lead.
438.
This is where Price has been better this week than last, is that the first dart has been above the 60, or in it, rather than below. Below, it was his nemesis last week. And at the Masters.
That's number 5 in the Maximum column to MVG. And he's turning up the heat on the Welshman.
You're not kidding. Needs another couple of trebles here to ram it home. And of course he gets it after just 9 thrown.
The heat is turned up even more, isn't it? And Gerwyn Price must feel like he's throwing darts in the middle of a furnace here. But he responds to lead tops Van Gerwen. 2 darts, double 16 for a level game.
That was not good. The crowd, they want their man to win, and that's not their man. For 5-3. Michael Van Gerwen missed 32. Price did not miss tops. You've got to take your chances. That's what he's doing, Price.
And Van Gerwen has missed half a dozen at double in the match, and they've been costly. There were 2 at double 12 in the very first leg. We've just seen 2 at double 16 there. So there's been a couple of times when he's missed a brace at double, and it's been very expensive.
And the dart he missed at ball, that's 3 legs that he hasn't won.
Yeah, that's right. That was in the second leg. Off 89, wasn't it? And now he's faced with the prospect of winning 3 on the trot against Price to win the match. But 2 of them will be on the Van Gerwen throw if we go all the way. But Price is buoyant here in front of the Welsh faithful. Last year he didn't perform here in Cardiff in the opening night as it was in 2022. But boy, has he performed tonight.
And unfortunately for him in 2021, Gerwyn Price, as the world champion, didn't play because he was ruled out through COVID, remember? That was a real blow for him. So Michael Van Gerwen with 74 to reduce the deficit again.
And he can afford to miss here, but he doesn't miss. And now there's only 1 leg in it. And now Van Gerwen needs 2 on the trot, but he's got a break here, or it's all over for Van Gerwen in night 2 of the Premier League in Cardiff. He was second to Chris Dobie in Belfast. He's not interested in coming second.
Well, the way he's scored in this game, he certainly wouldn't rule out a break of throat. Price, you just feel, maybe hanging on now. There's nearly 20 points difference in the averages, which is astonishing. Absolutely astonishing. That's why we say they're only a guide.
And here we go. Van Gerwen was threatening a 9 dart bid. He had one of those, Wayne, didn't he, in the World Championship final, as I vaguely recall.
Did he?
But this time they're not both on a 9, Wayne, are they?
No, they are not. But Price, unfortunately, in a treble 5 instead of a 60. Van Gerwen's scoring in this game has been magnificent.
Will he plough on? Well, that would have left 29. It's the kind of thing that Wayne Mardell would have done. But Van Gerwen will have a look at 76 anyway. 2 at double 8 to put it all the way. All the way we go. And Van Gerwen from 5-3 behind has levelled at 5 apiece, and he has the darts. What a sensational semi-final in Cardiff.
Magnificent. His first dart so often has found the top wire of that 60, and any player will tell you that's where you want it if your darts stand up, of course. Price, do you remember he mentioning, Rodri, just a couple of legs ago, that when his darts go below, that's the nemesis. He's done that the last couple of legs.
Now, in the first match of the evening for Price, he beat Chris Dobie 6-5, but crucially, Wayne, in that match, he had the darts in leg 11.
Yeah.
This time, the boot is very firmly on the other foot. And Van Gerwen is hoping to give Price the boot in the semi-final and march on to a final against Aspinall. He's in control here.
42.
But that visit gives Price some kind of hope. But only if he can pile on and pile in. My word.
That is special. That really is. Knowing that you need it to maybe just staying a match. But to do it under those circumstances, the 180, can he follow it with a 167?
It looked over 90 seconds ago, this match, didn't it?
Yes.
Van Gerwen had it in the palm of his hands. Now Gerwyn Price is looking at 167 off the back of a 180. Well, that would have been two of the greatest visits back-to-back we've ever seen in the Premier League. But Van Gerwen now will have, all things being equal, 2 darts to reach the final for the second week running, Wayne.
Brilliant 6 darts from Gerwyn Price. He could do no more. Van Gerwen wants one more dart in the double. Double 10. Fluffed his lines. Panic.
Another leg with 2 missed darts for double. This time a match darts. Price, double 18. And Gerwyn Price wins an absolutely sensational semi-final against Michael Van Gerwen in front of his adoring Cardiff public. Gerwyn Price has held off Michael Van Gerwen, who missed 2 for the match, and the Iceman kept his cool to reach the final.